Hello, welcome to this Artist Talk, another episode of the Soulscapes Artist Talk series. Thank you all for coming in such a big number. I'm very happy to see you again. You're our favorite fans. This Artist Talk will be about Emmy Schoorl, the Dutch photographer, and her work. I'm more relaxed without the microphone right now, to be honest. So thank you all for coming. We are here present to find out more about Emmy Schoorl's creativity, art, and what lies behind her concepts. We have some questions, but I'm sure that afterwards, after the talk, we'll have some questions of your own. So please go for it. Therefore, the first question for you, Amy, how did you start as an artist? What triggered your emotions in doing such a splendid photography?
Thank you for having me. Thank you all for coming. Actually, I was starting late. When I was a kid, I was already creative, but I come from a family, and my parents came from big families and poor backgrounds, and they worked their way up, but they thought it's better in life to have security, so not too much focus on art, but first your job, secure job, and then art will come. So after secondary school, I lived for 1 year in Aix-en-Provence, in the south of France, and I got really inspired by the environment. Like Van Gogh has lived there too, but it was such a beautiful environment. And then I like to start with the photography, and I enjoyed traveling. And later, I still had my career in different roles, different companies, later in a publishing company, and one time I got a serious accident, a train accident, and I thought, okay, it learned me that maybe life can be short and we should follow our own path and follow your passion. So I started to work towards another career and become more an artist and do the things I like to do.
That's great, and at some point in life, there's something that triggers that the sparkle, to get to do what you feel like doing it. I want to read a short introduction that we have in this small portfolio here about Emmy. So, as I said, she is a Dutch photographer and artist based in Shanghai. She has a passion for photography and traveling, and to explore places that beautiful China offers. She has held already various photo exhibitions in different Asian countries, and her photos were published in many books and magazines. In 2014, her own photo book about daily life in China was published, China, an Inside View from the Outside. And the third edition came already out at the beginning of 2018. Now she's working on her next book about the Himalayas and special theme magazines. So this introduction takes us to the next question. Is all photography about traveling, about places you are visiting? What inspires you? What connection do you have with what you see, and what inspires you?
The photography, I show now the Himalaya pictures or the portraits. Then it's inspired me the connection I feel with the people. If you see at my pictures, you can see if I take portraits that I feel very close to them, very connected with them. So I think, or I feel like we are all connected. And so when I take a picture, it's not for me only the picture. It's like starting a relationship with them. I see it that they give me a gift, and I always want to give them something back. So I always try, if I think it's a beautiful photo that they should have, I try to give it back. Nowadays, even if in remote places, some of the pilgrims or the nomads, they have also like their mobile and the WeChat.
Yeah, right.
So it's more easy to give the photo back. Before I had to try to print it out and to give it back to them. But for me, it's like more the gift and the connection. It's not only for me the portraits, like in Shanghai I feel inspired by maybe a color or a corner or some totally different. And when I travel, I do not only photography, but I have also ideas for installations, like stone installations and like with textiles combination with photography, as you can see here.
Yes, we see here a very interesting mixture between photography and traditional fabrics of the Himalayas. So, very interesting setting of your photography.
So yeah, I feel it's more about connection and all being inspired by each other.
It's so wonderful when we have artists that somehow preserve traditions and places that are not that much touched, by civilization. Emmy's photography, it shows precisely this. Captures people, the beauty of women, of people that she's meeting in her travelings, and also connect their photographs with parts and elements of their culture. That is amazing for preserving this heritage, important heritage.
Yes, I think so too. And sorry to say, but sometimes photographers, they just take a picture and they walk away without making the connection or thanking the people they meet, because for them the picture is the most important. But for me, actually, I like to show the pictures because it's a sharing, it's a proof.
Yeah.
It's showing the connection, but the main thing is actually the connection. So although the picture shows it, for me the connection is the most important thing.
I like to call them the Mona Lisas, our Jocondas of Himalayas. They are so beautiful, and I would love
Yes.
for you if you could show us a little of your Mona Lisas here and your stories.
So I started already earlier with the portraits. So for me, I told you already, it's a connection, it's passion for traveling and interaction with the people. And it's just showing that we are all actually the same and all connected. But I wanted to show also with the exposition, like this girl, I met her shortly, maybe it was in 5 minutes, and I like to show you the different moods. So it's all for us. Also, like 1 minute you are smiling, next minute you are more meditative or more thinking. So it shows the different personalities or the different moods. So it gives you more in depth. You come a layer lower, and like I called it soul stories. So you come to know her a little bit better. You see her soul. So therefore I liked also the title of this exposition.
And that's a connection with another question already answered, Soulscapes, and your search for the subjects is so within your photography.
So yeah, I was very happy with the title.
Yes, it's encompassing, and I think it can represent each and everyone's search. If the artist is truthful to what he or she does. Soulscapes is encompassing for their inner struggles and sufferings, and because art is not really a pleasure, it's pleasure for the others, hopefully collectors, but art is a struggle.
It's a struggle, but it gives you also pleasure.
Yes, when you finished with a series that you really like, yes, it is.
Like today and last week with the opening, I was very happy with the feedback and the sharing, and indeed that you could show it to other people.
Yeah.
Because it's nice to have it for yourself, but it's nicer to share.
Sharing, yes. It's about sharing to the world. Now technology allows us to do that, and I'm so happy that last night I managed to, you might laugh about it, I managed to have a Douyin account with ARTZ Gallery, and then all the videos that will be taped in here, that will go also even wider audience, not only Western like Instagram, Facebook, and so forth. So a lot of publicity will.
It's about sharing.
It's about sharing. It's about sharing. Emmy, how do you work, and what is your favorite tool, apart maybe from your camera, because it's obvious.
Yeah, I like my camera because then I can prove what I'm telling. But I think the most important tool for me is my energy. Because when I meet people, like I said already, they have to allow me to take the picture. So start the relationship with them. And so I experienced that sometimes during traveling, because I travel also to take the pictures, that the people allowed me. But even I was traveling with other people, the nomads or the pilgrims didn't allow the other people to take the picture, because maybe they didn't feel comfortable, not the connection. And for me, that's the biggest gift. So I think the energy and the connection is the basis, the tool.
That's very interesting, because so many artists that I've interviewed so far within this series, Soulscapes series, they all have the other responses, and it's such a pleasure to find them, their imagination in giving answers to this question. What is the best thing about being artist?
I think the same, like the sharing. I mean, I get inspired by other artists, what they do. So then I can think, oh, that's an inspiration, and I can do it in a different way, or like create something else. But I think that's the sharing and being able to create something.
Tell us about more stories about your works.
I wanted to tell you about these men because I show at this exposition only the women, because it was more women gallery, and you asked me the women.
Yes.
But for me, this was a special man too. I met him in a shop, and I thought he looked so traditional and so beautiful with his traditional hat. This was in Shanghai. And I asked him, can I take a picture? And he allowed me, and I said, can I have your address? Because I wanted to give him the picture back later. But he could write, he wrote my Tibetan name, but he didn't give me the address. But then he said, come. So I followed him to his house and I got tea and we tried to talk to each other, although he spoke only Tibetan and I tried to speak a little bit with him, but we had the connection. And so you see two pictures, but they are, the time frame is like after 2 years.
Wow.
So we got connected, and every time when I passed by in that specific area, I went with my friends and we got always invited and have nice tea, and we had a nice connection with his family. So for me it's, okay, the picture is one point, it's momentum, but it can start a whole relationship. And like one of my friends, Chinese friends, she said to me, oh, you are good in picking up stones, which is a nice expression, because she said, she wanted to say like you are good in meeting people and then get the whole story.
Yeah.
So it's collecting stories, it's not only collecting pictures, it's collecting a relationship which led to another story.
That's great. I mean, people don't probably open up so easily, so it's something in your eyes or in your smile that makes them so quickly to open, and that's great because you manage to have great shots with people that normally in their own life not communicating quickly, so that's great.
Yeah. So I wanted to show with my pictures also not only their life, because it's sometimes very remote and different way of dressing, but yeah, this is with the nomads. I stayed with them a couple of days, so it was hard for I mean, I had to wake up at 4 o'clock and they do the milking and at the same time also praying.
Oh.
So it was for me beautiful to see, although it was October time and very cold, but I enjoy the experience and to be there.
Definitely very enjoyable.
Yeah. So I like to climb the mountains. Mount Kailash, the main mountain for Buddhist, Hinduist and Jainist. Also a beautiful experience to climb it with the pilgrims at that time. So here you see one of the men.
Wow.
We had the same pace, so we had to climb up, to overcome this pass. We had to start at 6:30 in the morning, very cold, but it's a beautiful experience to be there with the local people.
What are those colorful
This is the prayer flags. So and on the flags is like written a prayer, and the wind. Normally it's more hanging, and the wind should bring the prayers up to the air.
Mm-hmm.
Here you see another of the mountain.
Yeah.
Then I have another project, because somebody asked me why are the pictures black and white, because the people are very colorful and they have very colorful clothes. And of course I could show them in color, but I thought if you put it in black and white, it shows more the essence, and you can more look in their eyes and get to their soul.
Yeah.
But I have another project which is more like showing the pictures in a blurry, emotional way, so I will show it. It's
abstract.
It's abstract. And although it's different, I think it's still same because you show more the basic.
Well, it's about emotions.
Yes.
And the first series is also about emotions.
Yes, and then you bring it back to the totally basic and maybe colors, or I see it as also on the Silk Road, like some colors you find, although the spirit is maybe already gone or traveled.
So are those kind of manipulation of a figurative, of a normal photo somehow
No, I took it in emotion.
In emotion.
Just it was meant to be like this, but you have to take many pictures before you find the right one.
Yeah, right.
And you
Beautiful.
enjoy the combination.
Yes.
So it's almost like a painting. I thought it's almost like the Chinese brush stroke, but it's bringing back the basics.
Wow, that's great. Maybe in a future exhibition we'll print them on silk.
Yeah, because
And
I
then
think this
put
is
them
small, but I think they would look great on a bigger
Yes, right.
frame.
Right, and on a softer fabric or
Yeah.
something which together with a wind or something will make an installation very, very agreeable, but definitely in a larger space.
But indeed, for me it was like more because we are in life. We are at one moment. I mean, it's life is maybe looked long, but also very short, and in more lives coming. So I thought this shows also like one moment in life, but it can be in 100 years almost the same.
Yeah, right. Photography is a medium that it's very important for capturing a moment, that really moment, and then to be the same for a big amount of time, to frame it like a memory.
Yes.
And it's amazing. Painting has it, but not really. Photography is the medium to do that. Definitely. Let's see what else. Is there an element of your art that you enjoy working with most? So we saw people. I obviously think it's your work with people.
With people, but like I said, I was also working with some textiles and stones, so I want to hope to find some times to get into that, because I'm also inspired by nature, and I hope I can find some time to work on the stones and maybe some pieces of wood. So it's I think a combination of all different things.
Yes.
Not only the pictures and
Mixed media. It's very interesting to create with mixed media something that is very close to your concept, and materialities have their soul.
Yes.
Also objects.
I think that helps everything together. I mean, to put it all together.
What are your next travelings or your next projects in terms of your future series?
I have the urge to travel a lot because we don't know how much we still can see, and the world is changing, and also, like you said, it's a kind of heritage. It's also for my feeling, a little bit kind of anthropology study, how people live their life, and still now we can see some parts which are almost untouched, but it's changing quickly. So I have the feeling I should be there before it all changes too much.
Too quick, yes. Yeah, well, we definitely look so forward seeing your next projects. Let me see if there's something that I missed. What about the area of your work, like the studio? How do you see yourself? How do you create yourself? How do you create your world inside your studio? How do you find yourself in the studio?
Unfortunately, I don't have a studio, so I work from my home, which is quite small, and gathered so much textiles and things which, like I said, the stones or some wood or some souvenirs, or so it's hard. And I would like to have a studio which could help me to work more on the textiles or the other projects. But I love to see the things around me, which I gathered during the trips, or some photos I still have on the wall. So they inspire me, and from there I try to work further.
So a studio of her own
It's my dream. Who's the sponsor?
It's a dream, but still your space, you're creating your own space with all these memorabilia from the places that you visit, and that's important because you have your memories, the objects have their memories, and together of course they build an intimate area where your creativity is very important. It's inspired by all what surrounds you. So this is great, you know, to find out all these little elements behind your work. I discovered a very passionate artist. And I don't know, you have a question or two, or maybe more questions to ask our artist here?
Not yet.
In terms of, I don't know, something that it haven't been said so far.
Do you ever, so all of the lighting that is in these photographs, you don't bring anything to light anybody
No.
with? So it's all documentary style portraits?
Documentary style. I have to say, sometimes I can take picture, and then sometimes I ask them a little bit, move a little bit, so I have a better background. But I don't like to stage too much, and it's all natural.
It's obviously in terms of those water drops on the clothes of this young beautiful woman here. I look at them and I said, yeah, that's a fragment of a second over there. When she has, I don't know, she was outside, maybe raining, and she has this amazing, beautiful smile. Do you have her photo on your?
Yes.
Because maybe taping, having this registered, it's important for the audience to see what I'm talking about. Amazing moments captured and without effects, special effects. I'm talking about the women in the right. That's amazing, and I don't know. I think it needs to be somehow, you know, so well your camera.
But like I said, it's like a gift, because these people are coming from the countryside and not used to big cameras. And of course, if you have a small camera, it's not so invading.
Yes.
And I feel like, I'm sorry, I have a bigger camera, not that big, but a bigger camera. So they have to look in or have to connect with me behind the camera, and still not too bothered by the camera. So yeah, it's a real gift that they allow it, because maybe a lot of people will be scared or go off because of the camera. Nowadays with the small mobile is of course easier, because that's less invading, but
The quality won't be the same.
no, that's true. But they allow me, yeah, so that's is a gift.
That's great. You really have captured some Mona Lisas here. I mean, I'm sure Da Vinci would be envious about them. So, other questions? Yes, Wayne?
Thank you, Emmy and Diana, for the sharing. It's great to hear the wonderful story behind the photos. And so you were talking about the connection with the people who are in the photo before and after taking the photo. That was beautiful. And I was wondering, so when you take photo, like a spontaneous photo, do you normally talk to them before, or because I'm always confused that if you talk to them, they will kind of either pose or they will feel shy or they will have a reaction to it. But if you don't tell them, sometimes I hesitate because I feel it might be rude that to stick, a lens in front of them. So I don't know what's your approach to that.
Yeah, good question, Rich.
Another photographer.
Every photographer is struggling
Something
with that.
but yeah.
Yes. It's both. Sometimes, of course, they see my camera, and then I almost move like, can I take a picture? And then I am allowed, and I show the picture. And sometimes I can then take a next picture, which is even better, and I show them again. And I thank them that I can take the picture. Sometimes it's more spontaneous, a little bit when they don't watch it, because that's beautiful too. But then afterwards I can show them that I took the pictures, and they have to laugh, or they think like, oh yeah, it's beautiful, but I didn't know. But then afterwards I can thank them. So it's a little bit playing with the moment.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Take it and then show to them.
Yeah.
Sometimes if I hesitate for a little bit and then the moment is gone, I was like, oh no, I missed a great photo.
Yeah, but it's both. Like if afterwards you can show it and thank them, and maybe try to exchange the WeChats and show them later, or send them later by the WeChat.
That's a good idea. Thank you.
So amazing to know also the feedback from the subjects, which is very important. Very important.
But sometimes they say, okay, no, I don't want on the picture. It happens sometimes, and of course I'm sad because I thought like, oh, it's so beautiful. Please allow me. But then sometimes they say, no, sorry. And then it's not because they don't want to be on the picture, but it's more sometimes they think I don't have the most beautiful clothes on that day. Because I like them to see them in their working clothes or natural environment, but they think I should have the best clothes on, and it's how we think too. We want to be on the picture also nice looking, but so I can't blame them. But sometimes I think, oh, I missed that moment and it was so beautiful, and but because they can't see how beautiful it is.
Sometimes they don't realize how beautiful they are.
And it can be just with also the light or the colors corresponding with the background, or it can be such a beautiful moment.
Well, that's amazing, and I really hope that we will see more of this, even more interesting ways of exhibiting the photographies. If there's another question.
It's because to see something beautiful as they expect, for instance, like this Mona Lisa, they have the ideas like to stay with them for like some period of time, so that for the daily life, and then there will be maybe to get something more for those.
Yes, that's what sometimes I stay with the nomads. And then you can take more in a quiet pace the pictures. Sometimes it's the moment, because this lady was also in a hurry and I was in a hurry. It was my last day at Lhasa, and I wanted to walk around, enjoy the last glimpses of Lhasa before I went back to Shanghai. So it's the moment, but I love to stay sometimes longer. And then you can capture maybe in a different layer, and then they are working or in their daily life. Yes. So that's what I like to do too.
And some of my markets, like the Yinghuizhou province, there is some place for like a meal or Wuizhou, they were so friendly as soon as you pass their home. So you were invited to have like a drink, or even sometimes for a meal, or maybe for all. Sometimes they will also invite you to stay with them, so that could be some kind of like
in Guizhou, but yeah, everywhere I travel, it's similar. Like,
Yes.
yeah, it's so beautiful. If I'm invited in their home and maybe sometimes can stay and
Yes.
have more time.
And they're quite friendly, and so
Yeah.
I want to take pictures, do whatever you want. So it's so nice.
Yeah, but I think that's. I mean, in Shanghai, of course, if I walk in a small neighborhoods, people are very friendly and
Yes.
also invited me sometimes in their home to have a tea. But in these areas, maybe people have sometimes more time, or yeah, I feel like very happy if they can invite me and I can stay there, and they're so hospitable to invite people.
Well, that's interesting, and hopefully, maybe you'll you'll get the chance to travel all around China and take a photographs every minority if possible. That would be something amazing, and to be well preserved and kept, and maybe you know, not only for Chinese people, but you know, for the world. It's something that it has such a beautiful quality of showing the beauty of those people. So it's amazing. I'm going to thank you all for coming. I'm going to thank you, Emmy, for sharing with us those amazing works of yours, and I'm so delighted that Weina
Thank you.
made connection with us, and I discovered such a wonderful artist and a wonderful person, not only an artist. Stay with us because we have another artist talk following, that is Emmy Chen, in a short period of time. Thank you all for coming.